Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss any of these Cardano updates. What I'm going to go through today is taking a quick look at the latest from Catalyst. So I'll give you the latest timelines on that, taking a look back at the week, what has happened, what was the biggest news out there for Cardano, give you a quick update on my own stake pool, and also looking at the charts to see where we stand now in terms of the Cardano price, and just give you my own overall opinion of where we are and where we could potentially go over the next while. As well, I will put timestamps down below this video for anyone who wants to skip to certain sections. I will keep it short and concise, and if you find some value, please do give the video a like and leave a comment down below or share it out there. That really does help with the YouTube algorithm. So let's jump in. Okay, so kicking it off here, looking at Catalyst. So you can see that Fund 3, now the rewards was the top of this. This is a Twitter thread that was put out by Input Output. Fund 3 rewards should be paid out in the next 2 days. So that was posted on April 7th. So by April 9th, let's say into April 10th, you guys should have your rewards for voting in Fund 3. Fund 4 then, the registration starts for that next week on April 13th. The voting power snapshot happens on the 20th. So basically that checks how much ADA is in your wallet, and that determines how much voting power you have then. Voting starts April 22nd and runs to May 5th. I will do a video maybe dedicated to Catalyst next week just to summarize all this and go more in depth on what it all means for anyone who's new to it. Fund 5 as well, if anyone out there has ideas that they want to propose and maybe get some funding for them, you have until April 14th to put your proposal in there. Again, I can talk about that as well in the other video. Popular question here, Rick asked about hardware wallet support for voting. Unfortunately, it looks like it is not going to be supported again in Fund 4. And for me personally, I hold most of my Cardano on a hardware wallet, and I do encourage other people to do the same because it does give that extra layer of security when it comes to securing your ADA. So hopefully, in the not too distant future, we will be able to vote directly from the hardware wallet as well. The two most popular ones for anyone new are Ledger and Trezor. I have links down below and I have videos on my channel as well on how to use them all. But any questions, just let me know down below as well. Looking back then at some of the news announcements this week, again, I've touched on these in other videos, so I'm just going to give you the headlines and leave the links down below. Cardano reveals its first supply chain solution in association with ScanTrust. Again, this is bringing a lot to the plate for Cardano. So this is going to bring real world adoption. This is all about getting supply chains, getting transparency on the blockchain of where all of the products are actually coming from. Great to see aspects like this coming out. We also see C Fund, Cardano Ecosystem Venture Fund. They have invested in COTI, so they have been working together for the last while with COTI Pay and integrating ADA into that. I will do a full video on that fairly soon, but now Cardano has taken an equity share in COTI, so I am excited to see what that brings. COTI is all about digital payments and making that process a lot easier. Another one that came out then that I didn't cover in the last video was the latest blog post by Input Output on smart contracts. I've covered lots of different aspects of this. It's basically looking at the timeline of what's going to happen. It hasn't changed much. There's little bits of extra information in there you guys can read through yourselves. In summary, it's still late April into May, getting the testnet up there, getting DApps being built on it, testing it all out, making improvements that are needed throughout May and June, and then getting the code freeze to get the final code that is uploaded to all of the stake pools, all of the exchanges, so that we can get Alonzo and smart contracts live. And just on the date, so there's the original timeline I've showed in other videos. And looking at it down here, they do say that it's looking to happen in late summer, and they will make an announcement of a firm date in April's Cardano 360. Now, I haven't heard any more on that. As soon as I do, I will get a video out on it. Up next was we had a fairly big Cardano node update during the week. So anyone who's into the code side of things and interested in how things are going, I will leave a link to this down below as well. Basically, my two nodes have been updated not too long after this came out. One of the biggest improvements that I can see in it is this part here. When the nodes were calculating the rewards for the previous epoch, this used to happen 48 hours into the new epoch, and it all happened at once, which was a huge CPU overload for some servers and caused the network to slow down a bit. Some nodes weren't able to handle it. So what they're doing now is spreading this out over a longer time frame, and this will make things a lot smoother overall on the network, which is good to see. Leading on from that, just a quick update on my own stake pools. In general, anyone who is new to staking and everything like that, no matter what pool you pick, once they're producing blocks, generally they will average out to a 5 to 5.2% return over the year, and you will see it fluctuate epoch to epoch. Some epochs will be way above that, some will be below it, and I will put a video together very soon talking about why that happens and the way that blocks are assigned in the algorithm, because I do get a lot of questions on that. In general, you can see that 253 was a very good one for us at 5.9, we had a 5.8, 5.2, then we had a 4.2, which is what was paid out in the last epoch. The way the payouts work is what is earned in the current epoch is paid out at the end of the following one. So what people will receive this Saturday is the rewards for 257. Again, they're down slightly on the average, but when you look on the whole here, we are still coming in at that 5 to 5.2, 5.3% over the long term is what you would expect. Looking at, and actually the current epoch, we are set to get about 37 blocks, which puts us over 100% luck again, and should put us up into the 5.5, 5.6% returns for the current epoch, which gets paid out at the end of the following one. Looking at pool 2 then, so you can see I do get some questions actually on this about why this says 3.37 here. This metric here takes into account the last 6 epochs, but when you look down here, we have only got 4 so far that were counted. So what it does is it puts in 2 0% epochs, and then that's how it balances out there. So pool 2 has been doing fairly well. A bit of a low one to start. Roughly 5 then. Here we had a 6.5, 5.5. The last epoch, which gets paid out this weekend. Once again, very unlucky in the lottery, but we should finish the current one around 100%, just under 100%, which will give us around a 5.1% return for the current epoch. So on a whole, looking at the bigger picture, still well within that average set of returns for stake pools. Okay, so taking a look at the price now, and what we see is we are still in this uptrend, but we really are testing the lower side of it right now. Moving along the bottom line here, the bottom support line, still well within our consolidation zones that we have talked about. So between $1.15 and I would say $1.25, $1.26 there is our main range. Yes, we popped up out of it here earlier in the week when we got a really nice pump here, but we were brought back down fairly quickly. The overall market corrected. Bitcoin had its pull down, and Bitcoin basically pulled the whole market down. But we have our support in around the bottom of this trend line here. This is what I'm personally watching. In the short term, I'm watching to see that we do get our support and stay above this. Falling out of this, we will probably revisit the 115 level. Again, if we don't get the support there, the next solid support, now this is solid support technically, we're looking at the $1 mark, $1.02. Is, looking at the charts here, is that enough to make me personally sell? No. Look, Cardano for me is a long-term play. Yes, I talk about buying other coins on my other channel. I'm getting more into looking into other coins and looking at the overall market as well. There's links to that channel down below. But for me, ADA Cardano is not going to be a sell anytime soon in terms of my overall bag. I'm going to talk about my exit strategy next week. I will be looking at maybe starting to sell off some of the rewards over the next while. But again, that situation is slightly different from me because I earn more Cardano, more ADA every week from trading, because I also trade all of these price movements as well as stake and earn staking rewards. But I'll get into all of that next week as well. So again, looking short term, I'm looking to find the support on this bottom line here. Failing that, the 115. But let's take a look at this bigger picture, which is what I generally encourage people to do. When we zoom out to the daily chart here, you can see we've had the massive run up. Let's forget about that for now. Consolidation has been happening now for a while. I see it as inevitable that we will break the $1.49 mark. It's just a matter of when, not if. That's for me personally. Again, none of this financial advice, just me giving my opinions on it. But I'm still looking out here to the Alonzo hard fork, which again is looking to happen sometime in around August. Once we get the date, I will give it out, as I said earlier in the video. And to me, the main run-up is really going to start the closer we get to Alonso. So right now, staying in this formation is important in the short term, but in the bigger picture, even if we fall out of this and fall down to the 115 or even down to the dollar mark, I'm still looking at pushing back up to $2-3 once we get the run-up for Alonso. Lots of people will tell you that we're going to hit $10, $20, $30 when we come up to Alonso. For me, we're not going there. And to me, an unbelievable price this year will be up around that $10 mark, and that would be with a crazy amount of applications launching on Cardano when Alonso comes out. Loads of dApps, loads of projects converting over to Cardano. That would be the extreme best case for me. We'll be up around that $10 mark. So I'm not going to fully rule it out, but even going anything above $5 this year for me is probably looking a bit too high right now. Looking at where we have came from, nothing's impossible within crypto. As I say, it will all come down to adoption in the long term. The adoption is what's going to give us them higher prices, give us, I suppose, sustainable higher prices, because announcements here and there can give you spikes up and down. But in reality, those of us that are holding and in this for the long-term game, the spikes don't mean a lot. We're looking for the adoption that brings sustainability to prices and gives us the continuous rise to the upside. So that's where I'm personally looking at on the price. Short term, maybe some downside, we'll have to wait and see, but long term, I'm still as bullish as ever. So when I'm talking about selling and buying stuff like that on the other channel, buying into other cryptos, that's all about using some of the Bitcoin that I have, because I hold Cardano is a substantial part of my own personal portfolio, but I do hold some other coins in there as well, which I talk a little bit more about on that other channel. And when I'm looking at buying and selling over there, that's generally with Bitcoin that I hold as well. The Cardano is not going anywhere for the short term or even for the long term if things play out the way I expect them to. Thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you got some value from this. Please do give it a like, leave a comment below, and let me know your thoughts. And I will talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching.